Welcome to Meet the Candidate with your host, Sue Lonnie Madsen. Meet the Candidate is your opportunity to see local candidates and hear about the experiences that have shaped their lives. Meet the Candidate is a nonpartisan community project brought to you by our friends at Greater Spokane Incorporated, Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe, We Vote, and Better Spokane. Now, here's Sue Lonnie.
Hey, welcome to Meet the Candidate. My guest for this session is Mary Kuney, who is running for Spokane County Commissioner, District 2.
Yes,
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much for having me today.
I know we were talking about this is your first campaign because you were appointed to the position, so this is a new experience for you too, campaigning.
It is, yes.
This is just a get acquainted conversation, and I always start with where did you grow up and go to school?
So I grew up kind of between Spokane and Iowa. My family is originally from Iowa, Sioux City, and my dad was in insurance sales and kind of traveled a bit. And so when we moved to Spokane when I was in elementary school, he really loved it here. We ended up going back to Des Moines, Iowa for 4 years, and then came back here when I was a junior in high school. So I went to Central Valley High School out in the valley, and then decided I'm the youngest of 5 children, so decided I could stay home and go to college, and went to Gonzaga University at that point.
That sounds good. What kinds of things drew you in at Central Valley?
So at Central Valley, since I went to an elementary school, McDonald Elementary, that fed into Central Valley, when I moved back, I wanted to definitely be with kids that I knew. Mm-hmm. So that's what drew me back to Central Valley School District, as well as, love the Valley, and that's where we wanted to be. So,
did any particular clubs or sports that you thought took your time?
Yeah, so I was actually in band and a dancer. So I did, dance with a dance troupe off to the, after school, as well as then during school did band and jazz band.
What did you play?
All of that. I played the flute in marching band and the saxophone in jazz band.
Oh, okay, I played saxophone as well. So I could have worn a saxophone pin today. Besides those kinds of early school experiences, they went on to Gonzaga, but how about a first job? What's your first job story?
So my first job story is actually in high school. I worked out at the KOA campground out on Barker Road, right off the river there, and so learned customer service, taking care of the campers, taking care of the money, the cash register, and all of that, and also was teaching dance at the same time to little preschoolers. So I had that first little troop of dance girls, and then from there I actually started work at Costco. So Costco, that was the third store, the one on Sprague that now's, that they've transitioned to the other Valley store. But that was store number 3. So for me, that was really interesting. So I started off as a caller, one of those people, if you remember back when, where you would move stuff from one cart, call the number, and move it to the other cart.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now it's all much more automated. But when I left there, when I graduated from college, I stayed there the whole time. I left as a cashier and was making more money there than I did at my CPA job down in San Francisco.
Well, those first jobs out of college aren't necessarily the best paying either. You have to you're starting at the bottom again.
Yes, no. So, yes. So I moved to San Francisco after graduating from Gonzaga and worked for Deloitte, one of the large accounting firms down there, for 3 years.
And you passed your CPA exam?
I did pass my CPA exam, so I am a CPA, have been since 1995. With that, the experience down in San Francisco was really great, having that private business experience, auditing lots of major corporations, and then coming back to Spokane, for me was, I thought, a really good way to jumpstart my career.
That's some basis for comparison there.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there some other kinds of travel that you've had that have helped, giving you some insights to why you like to call Spokane home?
Yes. So after I moved back to Spokane, I worked in public accounting, and then got married to my husband, Max, and we have 2 children. And at that time, public accounting is busy seasons, very busy, not conducive so much to a family. So I actually worked for the state auditor's office for 10 years. And after that, then I decided to stay home with the kids. And at that time, you have all these experiences and this knowledge. And so a friend of mine had come back from China, and she's like, we should start a tea business. And so we did. So Summit Tea was a business that she and I founded. We went to China a couple of different times to source our teas and figure out the best regions for the different teas and how to purchase them and, import them back to Spokane. And so that's what we did.
Oh, that's a fascinating small business to start. They
Yeah.
just jump right into importing. Huh. So you've had all this kind of experience here, and I know you also mentioned that you're on the Hutton Settlement Board.
I am. So I've spent, since I've come back to Spokane, 30 years doing community service. Most of the corporations that I've worked for, they want you to be involved in the community. Mm-hmm. And so with that, I started off in Junior League, then went on to the Boys and Girls Club Board, went on to the Hutton Settlement Board. I've been there for 10 years, and their current president. And so to me, it's all about the kids in the community and that community service. And so that's always been my focus, is to make the community better for our children.
Okay. Well, with all that activity that you're working on, not everybody steps up to run for an elected office. What prompted you to seek elected office?
So as some people may know and some may not, I was appointed. And so with that appointment process, when Shelley O'Quinn decided she was going to resign, I had several people come and talk to me, elected officials, community leaders, county employees, because at that time I was actually working as the chief deputy auditor for Spokane County. Mm-hmm. So I'd spent 2.5 years working in the county with the employees. And so it was really interesting that how many people came to me and said, we really want you to move forward and we'd like you to be our commissioner. And so that's what prompted me to put my name in the appointment process. And then, went through to the governor was the one that made the decision. But when I got the call from the governor's office, it was his director for boards and commissions said, you had more support than anybody that's ever come through this office. Mm-hmm. So I like to say the community was the one who appointed me.
That's a good way to describe that. So that's coming up to that last question that you get to answer is, how do you see the duties of this elected office, and why should the voters choose you?
The county commissioner's office is made up of, we're legislative, we're judicial, quasi-judicial, and we're executive. And so there's so many aspects to it that, somebody needs to know about. We have 2,000 employees, $750 million budget. And so I feel that my role as a state auditor, having that broad base of experience, because the county actually, I audited 2 years as the lead auditor, that, you have to understand all the laws and regulations that go along with that. And I feel that gave me a really good leg up. I feel that my community service has come together. My CPA background with our budget difficulties has all kind of culminated to make me a great county commissioner. And so I'm hoping to be able to stay there to make this county great and to, make it I see it as community service for myself, to make it a place where, we want to live, work, and play for generations to come.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a very good wrap-up, Mary, and I'm glad that you could join us today.
Thank you.
And have fun on your first campaign.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. Spokane Talks thanks our community-minded partners, Greater Spokane Incorporated, the Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe We Vote, and Better Spokane for helping make Meet the Candidate possible.